Welcome to the Broken Pistol Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast infused with hip hop. I am Wood.
You stay classy, internet. I'm Suave Burgundy.
Coming to us live with us inside the Sportatorium parking lot, former NWA World Tag Team Champion, former IWGP World Tag Team Champion, one half of the Killer Elite Squad, and because bitch Texas, Lance Archer. Lance, what's the deal, my man?
What's up, man? You forgot to mention two-time NOAH GHC Tag Team Champion.
That's what you're here for. You got to let us know these things. So for the masses that may or may not know who you are, and those who don't know who you are, they need to slap themselves, because we do believe that it's fuck the casual fan.
And I will slap them for you if you'd like.
Please, you're more than welcome to come into the parking lot and slap up whomever you want to.
Fantastic.
Give us your elevator speech on a quick rundown of where you came from and where you got to, and how you got to where you are right now.
If you want a quick one, it's basically I'm coming up on 19 years in wrestling.
Congratulations.
I started in Texas. Spent about 4 years on the independent scene. Then I started with TNA in 2004. Was with TNA till 2009. Then I started with WWE in 2009 until about 2011. And then I've been with New Japan since 2011 till present.
Cool. And we know we're going to get into the G1 Supercard and the G1 Climax tournament coming up here in Dallas because it's Texas.
Right.
And I know you're looking forward to that. Are you going to have any involvement in that? And don't get into too much detail because we'll talk about it here in a minute.
Well, I can't even give you too much detail because nothing's really been announced. But yes, I will be a part of the show in one way or another.
Fantastic. Let everyone know who you trained with.
Well, the guy that I trained with, his name is Solo Faitala, and I started in Austin, Texas at a wrestling school called the Southwest Wrestling Federation. It was just a small independent place. The guy had opened up a wrestling school and a wrestling organization out of Austin. He originally had Ivan Putski as his head trainer, but by the time I joined the company, Ivan and the Putski family had left him, and so Solo, who had been a part of that company kind of since its beginning, was my main trainer. And I trained with, it was basically Solo, myself, and one other guy named Jason Baker. And I just drove from San Marcos, Texas to North Austin, Texas about 3 times a week and just trained. It was just the three of us for the most part. It was about an hour each way depending on traffic, and I was still in school, still in college. I was working in downtown Austin, so everything had to revolve around school and actually my work and everything was along with it.
And where'd you go to school at?
I graduated, it was Southwest Texas when I was there, but it ultimately is called Texas State University. But I finally graduated in 2002.
Okay, good deal. And what's your degree in?
English.
Imagine that, an English teacher that is, a degree English major who is a professional wrestler.
BA in English. I never actually taught.
That's going to be my next question. So there's this little game we like to play with our guests called 21 Questions, as this is a hip hop podcast, with Infusion.
A little game, 21 questions. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, these
will be fast. This is rapid fire, quick reaction.
Okay.
All right. So, being from Texas, we would expect, we would hope that you visited the Sportatorium. How many times did you visit the Sportatorium?
I had never visited the Sportatorium because by the time I got into watching wrestling, that whole era had gone away. I've been to the old place where it used to be. I'm really good friends, and still to this day one of my best friends, Monty Brown. And he came into town one day and was hanging out with me, and he was like, "Well, we got to go." And he took me over to the area where the Sportatorium used to be. So, that's the closest I've come to the Sportatorium.
Nice. And you're talking about Mr. Pounce, period, Monty Brown, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
All right, here's one of our more creative questions.
Okay.
You have 3 choices. It's our version of fuck, marry, kill.
All right.
Push, bury, future endeavor.
Man, for somebody who's struggled and pushed in this business, I say everybody deserves one chance in a push. And I'm not somebody who's going to bury anybody, and I'm definitely not looking for anybody to get fired because I've been there myself.
Fantastic integrity-filled answer.
That is definitely an answer I did not expect, and out of the box, and a very respectable one at that. Licensing rules.
Sorry if I didn't answer it the way it was.
No, it was a perfect answer. Perfect answer.
Okay.
Licensing rules aside, I know you're a metalhead. What's your interest music?
Well, we have some custom music that was made by a Canadian group out of, his name's Taylor. I apologize, Taylor, if you ever hear this. I forget your band's name, but he kind of did it personally himself. Everybody Dies is the song title name that KES uses, and then I use on my own. On the independent scene, a lot of times the main song that I really like to use is Korn's Blind. I just like that Are You Ready, and then how it just hits hard.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Your favorite all-time championship belt, any era, any promotion, your personal favorite.
Man, it has to be the IWGP Heavyweight title, just because I've been so close to it for so long now, and it's I've had good times in this business. Being around TNA in its earliest days when it was really growing and becoming all the different stages that it went through. My short, ill time in WWE, but my time in New Japan has been my most special time in this business, and just to see that title on a daily basis and to hold it and see how big and heavy it is, and to know that the history behind that, now the rest of the world is really starting to understand the history behind New Japan and the IWGP Heavyweight title and everything like that. So that to me is probably one of my favorite ones. It is massive. It is freaking massive.
So you're going to start your own promotion. You're going to have a top heel, a top baby face, an announced team, and a head of creative. Run it down for me.
Okay, goodness. Wow. Okay.
Anybody from any era.
Right. Anybody from any era. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, the man who got me into the whole wrestling business as far as enjoying it and wanting to be a part of it, Sting would have to be my number one babyface.
Wow.
Okay. Good choice.
In Texas.
What's that?
And because Texas.
Well, yeah, absolutely. He lives here in Texas now, so absolutely. That's pretty cool. Heel, man. Let me think about that one for a second. I have to give the man props, and he's a modern guy right now, and everybody wants to hate on him, but I think he's doing an amazing job on WWE television because everybody absolutely hates him, but he's got some of the most innovative offense, and he's doing his thing right. It's Baron Corbin. I think I would have to go with him as a heel just because everybody absolutely hates him, but he does a great job at doing what he's doing.
Excellent choice.
And what were the other ones?
Head of creative and your announced team.
Head of creative. Oh, man. Dutch Mantel has always been one of those guys that had a really open mind to different things about the business. He had his time in Puerto Rico, TNA. He helped create characters like Abyss and whatnot, and he did a lot for me when I was there. So he's somebody that I would look to as far as creative is concerned. Dusty Rhodes, if God rest his soul, if he was still alive, he was a big supporter of mine, TNA and FCW, and just his ability to talk to you and how you present your character and your personality and how you speak on the mic and things like that. Those two guys I think would have to be my go-tos as far as head of creative, especially if Dusty was still alive. And in commentary, I've really started to enjoy what Kevin Kelly has done with New Japan and everything that he's been doing. And then excuse me, now he's going to kill me for forgetting his name. He did some stuff with Lucha Underground. He was with WWE at one point.
Matt Striker?
There you go, Matt Striker. He's going to kill me if he hears me. I couldn't think of his name off the bat. He's the one that helped create the American Psycho moniker when I was in ECW, and the WWE wouldn't let him use the name. He was calling me the American Psycho on TV, and they're like, "Stop doing that."
The irony of you saying Matt Striker is the fact that when Suave and I first saw you live was last summer at what was it?
World Class Pro Rev.
World Class Rev Pro. Last July for the was it the Kevin Von Erich or the David Von Erich birthday tribute show, and Matt Striker was there with you as well.
Yeah. And Matt's a friend of me. He's gonna, like I said, if he hears this, he's gonna kill me. I'm sorry, Matt.
Well, we hope he's listening.
Yeah, he's so smart, man, and his commentary is so quick witted. It's kind of a crying shame that he's not on somebody's current roster right now as commentary, because he is so good in my opinion.
If anything, I would say his depth of knowledge is what got him in trouble, but at the same time, people like us appreciate it.
Yeah, well, that's the sad part is his depth of knowledge overshadowed people who thought they were hot shit and they weren't. And he was better than they were in that sense. And so, unfortunately, people don't like competition sometimes.
Right.
So you know what? That's a perfect segue into the next question. Who is the most slept on talent of all time and currently?
Who's the most, say that again?
Who's the most slept on talent of all time, and then who's the most slept on talent currently?
I'm the most slept on talent currently.
Yes.
There you go. Get that self-promotion in.
And of all time, oh man, I don't know. Let's go. Alex Wright.
Wow.
That's Wunderkind?
Yeah. Okay. Good answer.
He's had a few mentions on this show in the past, if you can tell by the pop.
Yes, that is hilarious. Good job. Fantastic.
Your favorite era of pro wrestling?
Oh man, it has to be a mix of now, just because there's so much choice and opportunity. And I got into the business in mid 2000, July 2000. And WCW had closed down, and WWF, until it turned into WWE, was really the only thing. And then TNA, just in its infancy, started to come around. But there just wasn't a whole lot out there. The Japanese market had died down big time. I mean, you could go and disappear in Japan. You could go and disappear in Mexico or things like that. But, the business wasn't as hot as it's been. So what is happening right now, and just the ability to work all these amazing independents. One of the great places I get to work at, Wrestle Circus down in Austin, Texas, which, took a little hiatus, but now it's back. It's one of the premier independent organizations around the country, in my opinion. And there's so many like that around the United States and the UK. The UK market is blown up. The Australian market is blowing up. Mexico is getting stronger and better. Obviously what New Japan is doing and their world expansion, ROH is still here. AEW, which just debuted, whether you like it or hate it, WWE, which just signed these multi-billion-dollar contracts, is not going anywhere anytime soon. It's just a time in the business where a lot of guys and girls are able to go make some money, and depending on what style you want to be a part of, you can go and do that and make a living and enjoy it and work in front of some huge crowds and passionate audiences and just have a blast doing it. So this actually right now is probably, in my opinion, one of my favorite eras, just because of all the opportunities that exist. And then I think you have to go, I loved WCW in its heyday with the NWO, and then Sting doing the Crow persona, which was kind of the reason I started really following professional wrestling and wanted to be a part of it and stuff like that. So I guess you could kind of throw those two eras out there.
It was hard not to follow anything back then. I mean, people who were, didn't even watch this would tune on Monday nights just to see what's going on between, TNT and USA.
Right.
So did you actually get a chance to see Double or Nothing?
I did.
Man, what did you think of the show overall?
I thought they did a really good job. I thought, Cody and Dustin, absolutely the best match in my opinion. It wasn't the most holy crap moment match, where, they're doing amazing, crazy moves or anything like that. But the wrestling was fantastic. The story was fantastic. The emotion was fantastic. Everything about what Dustin and Cody were able to do is what I truly think professional wrestling is about. And the fact that AEW, a company founded on some guys who just kind of buck the system, no pun intended, bucking. People think of the Young Bucks and they think of those guys and they just think of them going out there and having these insanely ridiculous matches all the time. And there were that on that card, but there was also, like I said, Cody and Dustin in the story they told. The Joshi wrestlers, the ladies that came over from Japan that, I kind of know who they are because I've been going to Japan, but I guarantee you 90% of the American audience had no clue who really any of them are. And they ingratiated themselves and got over with that audience in a way that was just awesome. So there were so many cool things. And then Awesome Kong, who whether she wants me to tell this or not, back in my TNA days, I rode with the girls. Like, it was me and all the girls. It was Kong.
Smart man.
Gail, Kim, and all that. But me and Kong were room buddies, man. Me and Kong shared the hotel rooms all the time. And it was just, we were cool. And she would come hang out at my house and stuff like that with everybody when they'd come into Dallas and stuff like that. So it's cool to see her back on TV. And, you know, I enjoyed watching her for the 2 seasons of Glow. I'd like to believe that, or hope that would actually come back around for her again. So it's cool to see her back out there and stuff like that. So I thought they did a really good job. You know, obviously their first show, I thought there were some little technical difficulties here and there. I think MJF is, we forgot to mention heel. How did I forget MJF? He's somebody you have to have on your show. You know, like I said, you know, Baron can be the heater, and MJF can go out there and just piss people off with everything that he says. You know, man. So I loved everything from top to bottom. I think they did a great job. Obviously, there's places they can improve, but who am I to say that, because I'm not there and a part of that company. But they have some amazing talent. I think they have some amazing opportunities. You know, the ending with Mox coming out, the roof came off when he came through the crowd. You know, I thought they did a really good job of creating something really special to kind of kick off what AEW is going to be all about.
There were definitely a few quality moments there, and we'll definitely dive deep into that later on in the show. We'll keep on with the 21 questions.
Okay, I forgot we were doing that.
No worries, you right in pocket. So let's see. Let's go. Stranded, TV stuck on one wrestling show forever. What's your choice?
So I'm watching wrestling forever? That's what I'm doing?
One show. One wrestling show.
One wrestling show.
One wrestling, like, I don't know, the Nitro where Sting beat Hogan.
Wow.
Is that what we're talking about?
You went to one specific.
Yeah, he went to a drill down.
Look, I was just gonna say, if you could choose to watch Mid-South wrestling for the rest of your life, or you could choose to watch Nitro forever, or
you went to one.
You said one show, so I'm thinking just nights, one specific like actual day or that I enjoyed watching. So
that's a good one. Though.
Either or is fine.
That's a great one. You get the chance to cut a promo on any celebrity right now. Who would it be, and what would you say?
Jason Momoa, just because he's killing it, and I want his spot.
Okay.
I got the hair and the beard. I don't think I could be Aquaman if they'd let me. No, but nothing but love. But yeah, I'd cut a promo on it.
There you go.
So back during your time wrestling in Dallas on a regular basis, what was your favorite place to eat?
My favorite place to eat?
Yes.
Oh, man. You know, we used to just come in and then take off, so Whataburger was always our choice.
Because Texas.
Because Texas, man. And the other place that we went, I can't really say that we went there and ate because we weren't supposed to be going there and eating, but then I ultimately ended up working there, you know, as a fantasy ranch.
Fantasy ranch. I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know.
Well, we had some hookups when we'd go there because of the different people that wrestled and were around the business and stuff like that. And then ultimately when I moved here first, that was my bread and butter before I signed on with TNA. Heck, when I was with TNA, I still worked the door at the club just because it was straight cash money and it was easy.
Home of legs and eggs.
Fantastic.
You don't want to know what went in those eggs, though.
No, I don't at all. And for the record, never ate there. For the record,
hey, the steak was good. Actually, you could get a steak and potato for like $6.50. It was amazing.
Wow. Who has the greatest entrance theme of all time?
The greatest what?
The greatest entrance theme of all time. Like, who get the greatest entrance music plus pop? Like the Road Warrior pop?
For me, I use it all the time when I'm talking about seminars and talking to this next generation of wrestlers who want to go out and do the most insane wrestling moves and matches all the time, that, you know, you need to have your name remembered, not just the moves you did. And the one person that I think that everybody in multiple eras, even to this day, will absolutely go nuts for is The Undertaker. You know, that those lights hit, that gong sounds, you're in it, you're ready for it.
That's a great answer.
and to have lucky enough to have been standing in the ring for one of them, you know, it's just a really cool and ominous moment.
I'm sure you got chills everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Tag team partner for life, past, present, and future. You're in a tag team, and no matter what happens to you, this is your partner. No matter where you go, who would it be?
Oh man, and we're not talking about my partners that I've had, or just
any past, present, or future.
Yeah, you can fantasy book it.
I can fantasy book it. Oh man, can it be a 3-man team?
Sure. Freebird rule.
Well, I don't know what name you want to call them, but I always will call them War Machine. But the
yes,
Viking
sir. Hands in a row.
They're good. They're good cats. Just great people. The intensity, it kind of matches mine and what I'd like to do. So, like, if I was able to have just a running 3-man tag team, those 2 cats would be mine.
Yes, there'll always be War Machine at our house.
Yes.
Oh. Who is your dream match right now? If you were to have, if someone told you we can book anybody you want for your dream opponent, who would it be right now?
Okada, he's the champion.
Good answer.
The Rainmaker.
We need gold.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Every time anybody ever asks me that, I'm like, who's the champion of what company you want me to be wrestling in? And that's the guy I want to have a match with. Main event match and whatever the biggest show is. So Wrestle Kingdom, me and Okada.
Fantastic. So, if you're a fan, front row, what's the dream match you want to watch?
The dream match I want, Undertaker Sting.
Ooh.
Yes. There's a man with integrity on this line.
And I believe it actually topped one of our list, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
What's the best angle that you ever came up with creatively that got shot down?
Man, I can list 1,000 of them from my WWE time because they constantly told us, give us stories, give us ideas, and I'd write them up and send them in, and absolutely none of them would get accepted. So
have at it. Give us your top 3.
Oh man, I mean, I can't think of anything straight off the top of my head as far as specific storylines. Just anything from basically coming out and just monster whooping whoever the champion was to dancing with Truth again, because me and him did some dancing stuff back in TNA that people seem to enjoy and whatnot. And every single one of them got shot down, and usually the ideas that I came up with were shot down, or they would give them to somebody else. That's kind of how like WWE runs. It's who are they wanting to push and who are they wanting on top, and people pitch ideas, and then other people end up with those ideas.
Okay. What's the worst creative someone brought you that you shot down?
Shot down, man. It would have to just be independent stuff, and it would just be some really, really silly, me personally on the independent scene, I get there's guys and girls out there that are trying to make a name for themselves and they're willing to do the most insane stuff. But, unless you're paying me, I'm not going to go out there and jump off the top of a building through somebody on a table just because you want to pop a 50-person crowd, and those I shoot down a lot. So if something insane or crazy comes across my that's from an independent scene, I just usually am like, well, you're not paying me enough, and there's not enough people for me to risk my life and body and everything for that.
You saying that? I'm immediately reminded
that sounds
of
horrible coming from me, but that's kind of how I approach it.
You saying that? I'm immediately reminded of Sid Vicious versus Scott Steiner for the WCW title.
Sid jumped when he jumped off the middle rope and broke his leg. Like who asked him to do this?
The super boot. Yeah, but that's such a small, silly thing. That's like, hey, I'm just gonna jump out and give you a big super boot from the second rope. Okay, cool. Snap. Oh, shit.
They said, see you 5 years from now.
Yeah, and he's a cool cat, man. I've had the pleasure of being around him, and he was nothing but cool and very energetic and excited about the business and stuff when I was around him. So, kind of cool to meet him finally. This was just like a year or so ago.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
We're going to get down to nitty-gritty. We got 4 more questions here for you. Who is your retirement match against? When it's time for you to hang it up, who is the last guy you're going to be seeing in the ring going against?
If you're going to handpick that opponent.
Man. I had to say my boy Monty Brown, just because it's hard to explain the relationship him and I have. I don't have an actual brother. I have 2 sisters in my life, and he is somebody that I consider my family. He's blood. He's my brother, and helped me out and did a lot of tremendous things for me back when we were at TNA, just on a personal level, and the respect level I have for him, just knowing him and his family and what he's gone through and what he's helped them with and so on and so forth.
No doubt.
If I had an opportunity, if he was even willing to do it, because he doesn't wrestle anymore, and I had that chance, he'd be the man I'd choose.
That's an excellent answer on that one.
What's one hobby you have that people wouldn't expect you to have?
What's one hobby that I have? Well, not that they wouldn't expect it now, because a lot of people don't know the history of it, but I love to dance, man. Actually, I'm on one of MVP's old school YouTube shows, dancing in some random Japan, whatnot.
Okay.
So once in a while, people find that out and they're like, "You can dance," and I was like, "I can pop and lock with the best of them, bro."
Nice.
Nice.
Next time I see you or my wife sees you, I'll make sure we play some Planet Rock for you on GP. What is
We have to be in the right situation for me to want.
No, I'm ribbing. There's no way I'm pulling that out on you, man. Through your eyes, what does pro wrestling look like in 10 years?
Oh my goodness, what does it look like in 10 years? I mean, I just hope the expansion of the internet has helped the business tremendously. Like I said, it's opened the eyes of wrestling fans around the world to all kinds of different wrestling. I think it's what's kind of helping wrestling kind of create this excitement and boom that exists now. Like I said, when I would first start watching wrestling, it was WWF, and then it turned to WWE and WCW, and you had to have 2 VCRs set up in 2 different rooms,
man,
just so that you could record one or the other and then watch one or the other live or not, or flip back and forth and stuff like that. Now, with everything that's available online and the streaming networks that exist and the ability, like Twitch has gotten really good with the wrestling companies. Like I said, Wrestle Circus uses the Twitch platform, and so people around the world can watch any of their favorite wrestlers just about any time they want to, and the archiving that that the network has and New Japan World has and stuff like that. And I hope that in 10 years that just has helped professional wrestling expand and become just so much more popular on so many different platforms that the wrestling fans are, they're probably a little oversaturated with it, but they're oversaturated with good choices. And, you can choose to watch WWE, or you can choose to watch AEW, or you can choose to watch in New Japan, and it's all supported because the fan base exists worldwide. And that's where I'm kind of hoping and thinking wrestling goes. I hope the wrestling inside the ring gets a little more story-based, though, because I think there's so many guys and girls that go out there and do these insanely amazing matches, athletic matches and whatnot, but there's just not as many personalities anymore. So I hope the personalities kind of get reintegrated into all this athletic, amazing wrestling that you see.
Excellent. Last question.
Okay.
Give us your top 5, dead or alive.
Mm-hmm. Top 5 wrestlers, dead or alive?
Yes.
Oh, man. Top 5 dead or alive. Okay, let's think about that for a second. I mean, oh, man, you put me on the spot with things I hadn't really thought of. You have to put Dusty, I think, in there.
Okay.
In no particular order either, so don't think we're holding you to that candle.
Right. I mean, like I said, I think you had to put Dusty in there.
Okay.
I think however you think about him, Goldberg, just because the way he took over the business at the time, just the popularity that he garnered around the world. The Rock, who is transcended professional wrestling in every way that possibly could be done, but still can come in and be a part of it in any time, in any way that he wants to be.
Okay.
Obviously my fan favorite is Sting, just because of what he meant to me as far as getting into the business and enjoying the business and whatnot. And then I think you have to throw Ric Flair on there, just because he is the nature boy. He's he's been around and carried multiple companies in different eras and just, keeps cheating death, and thank goodness.
Right. Absolutely.
He can't do it forever, but, somebody and now he has legacy with his daughter who's doing extremely well in the business and stuff like that. So
that is a pretty impressive Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, that's a great top 5, my man. We definitely want to thank you for your time. Just let you know you are more than welcome to come back here whenever you want to the Broken Pencil. You are officially a pencil pusher.
Thank you.
You know where the Sportatorium parking lot is. So if you see a 10 outside, it's probably us, and we probably got some liquor right next to us somewhere. On what is it? July 6th, Dallas, Texas, American Airlines Center. The New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax invades the U.S. I believe this is the first time they kicked off the G1 Climax in the U.S. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's the first time that the G1 has ever happened outside of Japan. It's one of those things, man. I don't think the American fans truly understand the scale of what kind of professional wrestling they're about to see at the G1 Climax in Dallas, Texas.
I'm sure they do, because it sold out relatively quickly.
Unfortunately, no, it hasn't.
No?
It's picking up steam. Unfortunately.
Okay.
New Japan's had a few bumps in the roads here. We tried to do a small U.S. house show tour not too long ago, and we ran into some issues with visas because that was right when the government shut down crap had happened, and so they couldn't get the visas for the Japanese boys, so they didn't have those on the tour. And they primarily stayed out in California. MSG sold out really fast, but that was when the Elite was a part of the whole show, and it was more of an ROH show than it was a New Japan show.
Right.
So this is the first time that New Japan is really trying to do a major scale show here in the U.S. We're backed by Access TV and Mark Cuban. It's going to be aired live on Access TV, but also, like I said, with what's going to happen, the history of the G1 Climax, it's not just a tournament. Recently it's been a tournament where the winner went on to face the champion at Wrestle Kingdom, which is New Japan's Super Bowl, their WrestleMania, whatever you want to call it,
right,
in January. But the thing is our champion is a part of the tournament, so there's a chance that the champion could win this tournament, and it's a tournament that's over a month long. There's, I think, 19 or 20 shows in all of them. It's a round robin tournament. So, you're accumulating points. So every win and every loss matters. Every night it changes in standings and things like that. It's truly one of the most exciting and probably the biggest singles tournament that exists in all of professional wrestling. So, for your listeners, if you haven't already bought tickets to the G1 Climax on July 6th at the American Airlines Center, I absolutely tell you should go do that right now, because you will regret it if you don't go and watch this live. And the wrestling that they're going to get is not only going to be the G1 Climax tournament matches, because they're going to make this a bigger deal. They're going to get surprise wrestlers from different eras. They had the great Muta at MSG. There's a good chance he could be back and part of this. You got legends like Liger. You have, like I said, the champion Okada is going to be part of it. Tanahashi, who, I didn't say in my top 5, but if you want to talk about one of the best wrestlers to ever exist in the business, he's one of those guys. So there's the amazing talent that's going to be displayed at the G1 Climax, I think cannot be matched by any company that exists, whether it's WWE, AEW, ROH, anybody. New Japan Pro Wrestling presents the best tournament situation that can exist, and that's the G1 Climax.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. While on the way out, go ahead and give us your social medias, man.
Cool, man. Yeah, people can reach out to me at Lance Hoyt on Twitter, and I think it's at Lance Hoyt on Instagram, and Lance Hoyt, just straight Lance Hoyt on Facebook. I keep all of my stuff public. I'm not real big on blocking people. I just ignore you if you say silly shit. Excuse my language. But I keep it open. If you want to have a good conversation, hit me up, send me a DM, shoot me a message. We'll say what's up.
And next time we have a cookout over here, I'll definitely get you invited, man. Impact Plus, the streaming app for TNA and all things Impact, New Japan World, the streaming app for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and also WWE Network, all feature some of Lance Hoyt, Vance Archer, and Lance Archer's work. So make sure you check them out and get your history up and learn about your man. Down I-45, about 280 miles or maybe less. We got 10-time WCW World Tag Team Champion.
Indeed.
WWE Hall of Famer.
Indeed.
And because, bitch, Texas, straight shooting Stevie Ray. Stevie Ray, what's going on, my man?
Oh, not too much, brother. Just trying to make it.
Outstanding. So apparently, you ran into my sister at an event, and then that's how we end up connecting. What kind of event was it that you were at?
Well, just some of the political figures here in town that Just BU Magazine, Ashley Johnson, who president and CEO of that outfit put on, and I'm involved in some of the local the political local scene here in town, and they asked me to host the event. So that's pretty much what it was.
Okay. Are you involved in the process at all as far as getting the youth registered or even getting the people of Houston to go out and vote outside of the moderation that you do?
What I try to do is just talk to people about, some of the political issues that's going on. And let people make their own minds up about that. I don't really consider myself as a political activist. I'm just a person that was dragged into the political scene because of certain circumstances, and that's pretty much how it goes as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Outside of the politics, I understand that you got your hand in the broadcasting a little bit, doing the podcast, radio show. What you got going with that?
Well, I've been doing that for quite some time, and actually, a lot of people don't realize that's actually what I actually wanted to go to school for, was to be into broadcasting and things like that. But I got bored with it. And who knew, 30 years later, it'll come back around, so.
So I mean,
I'm on television, calling matches and stuff like that on the WCW program, so then I also was a writer I wrote a once-a-month column for the WCW magazine also. So stuff that I used to just play around with as a kid, kind of came back into my life as a professional. So I kind of continued with it with some advice from my older brother, and he was like, "Man, you need to pursue that, man. You're pretty good at it, man. People like listening to you do your shtick, And I was like, wow, I just really kind of playing around with stuff, and he heard me on the radio one day, and he was like, "Hey, man, I think you need to pursue that." So that's all. I got into the radio stuff and podcast stuff, and as of right now, I'm putting together I want to do a video magazine.
Okay.
All right.
That's what I'm working on right now, like a weekly show that I want to try to produce for YouTube, because I just started a new YouTube station. And this is one of the things I've been trying to grasp for the last couple of years. I think I'm very close right now. So I want to make it's like a news magazine where we chronicle a lot of the up and coming wrestling organizations, the independent wrestling organizations around the country, and that's dealing with young people and people that's trying to get it, that love this business and trying to get into it and come up. And what I want to do is do a show where we chronicle those different independent organizations around the country and showcase some of the young talent that's coming up in the pipe.
That's incredibly interesting.
And not only that, it'll be, to show their training facilities and things of that nature, and, who put the whole thing together, who's hot in that area, so on and so forth, all over the country, regional and abroad. And then, it'll be a news segment in the middle of it, whereas we will chronicle what's going on in the professional wrestling world as far as in the big organizations, and rumors, so on and so forth, and give a news background on that. And then in the third segment of it, I want to chronicle the legends of professional wrestling. So each week we will have a legend segment where we chronicle certain legends, careers, and don't let those people, kind of like classic rock music, don't let it die.
Exactly. And like I told you when we had a conversation last week, the one thing we want to process and help people understand here is that we want to give people their roses while they're still here. The last thing we want to do is sit here and have a barrage of rest in peace episodes. Right. Now, as far as the organization that you're speaking of, like off the top of your head, is there any organizations, like for instance, if you had the camera right now, you hopped in the car, you went out, what organizations or what wrestlers would you want to chronicle right now to let people know you're next up, or you're coming right now? Like who are the people that you got your eye on right now this second?
Actually, I don't have my eye on anybody. I have my eye on the independent wrestling business and the independent wrestling circuit.
Oh, as a whole, got you. Okay.
Whoever they may be. I frankly don't really care who they are. It's the fans that need to know who they are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, absolutely.
Whoever the name is, that's who we'll showcase in a certain area. Because it's just like college football. Everything's regional.
Right.
You have Division I college, you have Division II, you got Division III. You got 7-on-7, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, it's still college football, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Or basketball. And everything's regional. And who comes out of those areas? We don't know. But if they come out of that area and we've showcased them, where did you see them first? We want to try to get out there the stars of tomorrow. And whoever the stars may be, I don't know who they are, but when they pop up, I can always look back and go, hey, man, we showcased that guy on our show.
Excellent, excellent. We do know that you're a veteran of the territory era, and which means you've logged a lot of miles on the road. So we got a couple fun questions we want to ask just to kind of get some background from you, get some opinion from you on just the aspect of traveling. So first question, who is the best long drive DJ you've ever rode with?
You say DJ?
Yeah, if someone's got to be in charge of the radio while we're driving up and down the road, who's the best for that job that you've ever been in a car with?
The thing about riding up and down the road, man, the last thing you really listen to is the radio because you're talking all the time. The only time you listen to the radio is when you're riding along.
Okay. So on a solo road trip, what kind of music do you prefer?
Whatever a radio in that car picks up. My music is very broad. The kind of music that I like is very broad. Very, very broad. I mean, it's very wide. I'm not a stigma for a certain type of music. I like everything, and I can appreciate everything.
Absolutely.
I'm an open-minded person.
Indeed. Who's someone that you listen to that people wouldn't expect?
Well, if you knew me, you would say that's him. But if you don't know me and you just got a vision in your mind of who I may be as an African-American male, then that's totally different.
Right.
So in essence, I like to listen to what I like to listen to.
So you had a chance to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, obviously living in Houston, and as well as Atlanta. So which has the best food, Dallas, Atlanta, or Houston?
Probably Atlanta.
Okay. Prettiest women, Dallas, Atlanta, or Houston?
Probably Atlanta.
Best weather, Dallas, Atlanta, or Houston?
Probably Atlanta.
Atlanta wins.
Atlanta wins the
win, place, and show for Atlanta.
I mean, Houston is okay. It just gets super hot in the summertime,
Yeah, the humidity is real in Houston.
How you liking that cold down there right now?
Well, this ain't too bad.
I'm glad you can appreciate that.
41 degrees is not a bad.
No, I totally agree. You got to keep in mind, I moved here 11 years ago from Milwaukee. The day I moved to Dallas, I had 3 feet of snow in my front yard. And as I drove from state to state, I watched the snow melt. I can totally understand 41 being like summertime for some people.
This is, it's actually, if you live down here, you live with the devil, man, for life.
Yes. Yeah, true.
Devil just left a couple of weeks ago,
Just left out of here.
Yeah, probably be back on Saturday.
The devil just packed his bags, man. He ain't been gone that long, So we can appreciate, as soon as he leaves, hey, we kind of digging this, bro. Seriously.
Absolutely. So when you're not working, where's your favorite place to vacation?
You know what? I've been so many places, man, to the point where as long as I just get away from my daily grind, I'm cool with it, Okay. I've been all over the world twice. So I don't really sweat, vacations and look forward to doing this. As long as my vacation kind of like takes place in my mind.
Okay. I can absolutely, I can see that. Absolutely.
As far as sports goes, are you into any major sports franchises right now? Football, whether it be football, basketball, whatever.
Well, in my line of work, and what I've been doing over the last few years, I got to stay up on pretty much everything.
Got you. All right. So So who is your favorite? Like you at the house watching, and I understand that you got to keep abreast of everything, but like we diehard Cowboys fans, we got to say it.
True.
Right.
Who you riding with?
Well, my favorite team since 1972 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I still ride with them to this day. You know,
great choice. They got a lot of rings.
Because one, they had a connection with some of my family, which is from Louisiana, and my one of my brothers went to Grambling, and one of the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the day when my brother was in college was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers #1. So, and Terry Bradshaw is from close to where my grandparents are from, and so it kind of gave me a connection, you know, gave me a connection with them. So, and I kind of started riding with them back then, man, when I was a kid, and still riding with them to this day, you know, win or lose. And that's what those are the kind of conversations I have with people that are Dallas Cowboy fans that live here.
Uh-huh.
You were a Dallas Cowboy fan last year, but you're not one this year. When they're down, you jump off the wagon. When they're up, you jump on the wagon. Them the kind of Dallas Cowboy fans we got down here.
We can't even call them people friends in our circle.
Yeah, that's rough.
That really behooves me, because it's like, brother, if that's your team, you live and die with them, brother. That's what, when the winning gets good, that's what makes you appreciate it. Right. Everybody want to win all the time.
Can't appreciate sunshine unless you get some rain.
Yeah, the easiest thing in the world is to jump on the bandwagon when the wagon is going on the smooth road. That's the easiest thing in the world. The hardest thing is to go through the trials and tribulations. Just like a marriage. Marriage get bad, you want to get out? Then what the hell you get in for?
Right. Stevie, let me ask you this. Who's the best athlete you've ever seen in person not named Stevie Ray?
Probably my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, probably my brother.
That's incredible. So if your brother was not a professional wrestler, what sport do you think he would excel at?
I think my brother would excel in any sport.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He put his mind to it. I think he would excel at it.
Is he better at any one than the other?
Everybody in my family are athletes. So, it was just passed down from generation to generation, and from, one sibling to another. So it's like, that's all in my family.
Before we wrap up, first off, we do want to appreciate you for hopping on here with us, giving us a bit of what's inside of Stevie Ray. Hopefully we can do this again sometime soon, or even better, like we originally had planned to do it, down in Houston when we go down to visit Houston.
Right.
Before we go ahead and plug everything that you got to plug, man. Any projects you got coming up, your shows, social media, anything you got going on, plug away.
Well, my Twitter is The Real Stevie Ray. They can reach me on Instagram. My Instagram is The Real Stevie Ray. And you can go to my Facebook page, Stevie Ray Athlete. I'm doing one podcast. You can go to podcast that I do called Wrestling with History. And my new podcast that I'm working on right now is Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray. And like I said, I'm getting ready to drop a new wrestling magazine, which I'm going to call Inside Professional Wrestling. And I'm also working with Houston Community College. I wrote a documentary that I'm working on right now with Houston Community College with some of the students there. So we're putting that together as we speak right now. I don't have a date yet. I'm going to put together at a club here in town how some of the kids today put, album drop parties and stuff like that. Well, when I'm doing my news magazine, I'm going to do a drop party at one of the downtown clubs here.
Outstanding.
Get off.
Absolutely. Keep us abreast of those of that date, and we'll definitely make the trip down there to support.
Hey, be cool, man, because we're going to highlight everything and everybody that comes through there. I'm actually going to have the cameras there for that too, to put that on YouTube. So that will be showcasing that will be showcasing what we're getting ready to do. It's kind of crazy. It's going to be kind of inverted. But I'm pretty excited about it, man. So that's some of the things that I'm doing, man.
What it is, Steve? What's happening, man?
Yeah, ain't nothing. I can curse?
Yeah, oh yeah. You balls to the wall here, fam.
Fuck it right.
Well, Swab, I guess now is a great time to go ahead and kick this damn thing off.
Well, I mean, good times.
Welcome to the Broken Pistol Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast, infused with hip hop. I'm Wood.
Made daily.
Wait, hold on. Shit, I'm not. Here I am, not ready again.
You're just unprepared.
One more.
You sitting in the dark, man. What you doing over there?
Oh no, I got my window open.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Let me fix all that. See, they getting a real live show today.
Like I don't know what kind of podcast I'm coming on. Y'all sitting in the dark.
Not if we come to we trying to have you plug your fight, man. Hold on. Let me. He needs to understand what we do here. Hold on, man.
Bandwidth, what are you doing?
That's what's not happening. Oh shit. There we go. Now is that better for you, bro?
That's better. Like I said, didn't know if you was doing the OnlyFans or what.
Yikes!
I hope it hasn't come to that.
God damn it!
Stuff.
Man, let's pray it never comes to that. Good.
Hey.
Let's start this bitch over there. and all this is going on there too. Joining us right now, not Stone Cold, but Dallas' own Steve Austin. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Austin, welcome to the Broken Pistol Booking Company, sir. Your first time on the show. You are one of our very short list of interviews. This is episode 72. Is that right, Suave?
Yes, 72.
Yeah, so we appreciate you hopping on here. What's going on, Steve?
Not much. Damn, I'm 72. I should have done it the one before that. That would have been the best one. Well, damn, I'm dating myself. Never mind. I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
Man, we over here living life and loving it, trying to hold in the road 10 and 2, make sure the popos ain't behind us.
Oh, yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that, sir.
So I caught wind earlier this week, courtesy of our not so favorite social media outlets, that you have a fight coming up. First of all, I'm familiar with your music. I had no idea you were in the fight game, man. How long you been fighting?
I've been in jiu-jitsu since 2001.
Right on.
So, I mean, yeah. So about that long. I did some MMA when I started, but I've been doing, as far as jiu-jitsu professionally, I've been doing that for a while because I've been a black belt for now 13 years.
Damn.
So that said, yeah, it's been a minute.
Right. So what's your professional record right now?
You know what? I don't know. I can tell you, and I say it's a bad thing because I had a guy. I used to do a blog, and I remember I was trying to get sponsors, and I remember the guy was like, "How many matches do you want?" And I was like, "Eh." And at that point in time, I hadn't lost very many at all. And I was like, I don't know, I don't know, And he's like, well, nah, you need to kind of keep track of that. And then I did for a while. Then I didn't. After, I kind of lost track of it for a minute. I will say, I have been brown belt world champion overall. And what I mean by overall, like in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there's such a thing as there's adult, and then there's masters. And masters goes by 5-year increments, so you'll compete against people at your belt, your weight, and your in general age range. So at black belt, I've won Masters World Championships 7 times. 2 of those have been with no gi. That means without the gi. The other 5 are within the gi. I've won the Pan American Championships at black belt Masters 4 times or 5. I probably have 5, 6, 7 runner-ups at World Championships and at Pan Ams. I've been American champion a bunch, and that's pretty much it. So I don't know the record at this particular thing that's happened. Is called Fight to Win. Fight to Win is professional super matches. So it's basically you have one match and it's a submission only match. So it's not like a tournament where there's points and everything. You're basically going for the submission. And in that, my record is 10-5. So hopefully it'll be 11-5 after tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Because we always pull for the home team here, and all those accolades, man. Shit, you need to like your man said, keep track of those records, man. We need to know what's happening when it's going down. Speaking of, how can we watch it? Because everything's still in COVID season. There's limited seating available. It's at Gillies in South Dallas, just outside of downtown.
Yeah,
and
you can watch on flowgrappling.com. That's FLOGRAPPLING.com. I do not know the cost. I have no earthly idea. So if anybody goes there and they charge you something, I don't fucking know. But that said, they charge a monthly fee. So like on Flow Grappling, you'll get access to all of the Fight to Wins. Fight to Win is a very good. It's been a very good promotion for me. I fought on other promotions. I fought on Kasai. I fought on Submission Hunter. Submission Hunter's a nice one as well, but also Flow Grappling for all of the major tournaments. That's the World Championships, Master World Championships, the Pan American Championships, American Nationals, European Championships, Brazilian Championship. Actually, I've won Europeans and Brazilians several times as well at black belt too. But they'll actually play those live on there. So like if it's somebody that that does jiu-jitsu, no matter what their belt is, if you know what time they're going on, what mat they're on, you can actually find them and look at those. So it gives you a lot more than just you like, in other words, you're not signing up to see just me tomorrow. Now tomorrow, the first American to win, well no, he's the second, I'm sorry, he's the second American to ever win the World Championships at black belt. He will be on the main card against another guy, and the guy's nickname is Hulk, and he actually lives up to it. That being said, there's only been 4 Americans that have won the Mundials, which is the World Championships. That's like for the young studs or whatever. Like I said, I won that at brown belt at low, but I haven't won that at black belt. I've only won Master World Championships at black belt. The fourth, and there's only 4, the fourth to ever win, a fourth American-born guy, since we in the times that we have right now, his name's Shane Jamil Hill. He is, well, brother, he was the first African-American to actually win at black belt. So it's it's a good thing. But tomorrow is going to be a very, very, very good fight card. It's going to be good.
So how many fights are on the card for tomorrow night?
Probably upwards of 20.
Wow, that's a stacked card.
They normally have 20 or 30 for Fight to Win.
Okay,
and it starts at blue and purple belts. They usually didn't have blue belts at a time. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there's white, blue, purple, brown, and black. There was a time that they didn't have any blue belts. I think partially that's because of COVID, and you got to figure out who's actually training and who's not. Because a lot of places, they're flying people in from other places for this too. Like I get flown out to do these at times in other places. But tomorrow it'll be between 20 and something. Yeah, it's going to be a good bit.
That's dope, man. That's glad to see you that you still out here keeping it COVID free and keeping it healthy, and at the same time staying active as well, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything new on the music front for you?
I actually am putting something together. It's like I kind of do a purpose band. I had a band that I was doing, a brass band called it's called the Bionic Brass Band, and we actually put something out. It's a New Orleans brass band type thing called Long Live the Chief, Don't Bow. I'm doing that. I actually have picked up a couple of guys that actually asked me to do some verses for them, so I'm kind of been putting that together. Hopefully that'll get done sometime soon. I can't really say because it's not my project, but I haven't done too much on the rap front lately. It's always been with my trombone and doing, and doing that. So
well, I know a guy.
Yeah.
Know a guy looking for some verses.
Hey, I'm good. Just let me know. If anybody wants me to do, I still got the fire to do it, man. I just think nobody Nobody gave me the call. I'll be sitting at home. Be sitting there like, damn, I wish somebody call me to rap one day. And nobody don't ever call. And then I cry when I get in the car. So, that's kind of how that goes.
Well, I guarantee you, hang around us long enough, you won't have to worry about those calls not coming.
For sure. It's all good, man. I still got a little bit with me. I still do a little something.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna give you. Let me see here. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to talk shit about your fight tomorrow night. Go.
Oh, he got to go. I ain't got to do that much talking. He had the audacity of accepting the match, so he'll have to deal with that tomorrow. He
gonna walk in. He gonna have to get helped out. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, bro. Like, I think some people take a. Nobody takes. Here's the thing. You can't blame somebody for being confident. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be confident in what you're gonna do, right? You can't go into a match being like, well, shit, you're gonna whoop my ass. But and don't get me wrong, in jiu-jitsu, that's one of the things I like about Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You have the ability to win against anybody, but there's some people where you stepping in there and like I got a chance to train with probably one of, if not the greatest jiu-jitsu guy ever, and he's still that guy. Like even the younger guys now. He took a match against the guy that had broken his record of what they call an absolute. The absolute is the open weight. So to fight in the open weight in the World Championships, you have to be put forth. There's only two people per team that's put forth in the absolute. That's it. And so basically, you're the best of the best of the best. It doesn't matter weight. Doesn't matter. You're not in your weight class. And this guy, he did. He had just beaten his record and beat him one more. It's a new guy named Buchecha. And, man, he submitted Buchecha. It was like, so when he came, and I like to think I'm pretty decent. He came to train and taught us some things. Now, this is the equivalent of playing Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan was Jordan.
Okay.
That would be that equivalent if you think about it like that, right? And, man... Dude, he came in and I wanted to quit jiu-jitsu. It was like, and ordinarily I can do whatever the hell I want to do. Like I ain't nothing. Right? And it was funny because he was like, I would ask him like, hey man, what should I have done here? Well, you shouldn't have let me get here. I'm like, I was trying not to let you get there, damn it. But his name is Roger Gracie. If anybody looks up Roger Gracie, he's the man.
From the famous Gracie family, correct?
As far as talking trash a lot, man, I don't do too much unless somebody like you do have some people, especially in these times, that they have their all lives matter shit and they got other bullshit. So it's like I like to make them pay.
As well they should.
Yeah, there's a few that I know that kind of feel that way in my gym, but they don't say shit because it's like here's the thing. My uncle, God bless his soul, God rest his soul, said 95% of your problems can be solved with an open hand slap to the mouth. If you thought that you said some shit, somebody was going to slap you in the mouth, you would think twice before a lot of the things people think and type today, right? If you knew I just popped off on the internet and somebody's going to show up at my house and slap the shit out of me, there ain't nothing I can do about it. Most people wouldn't say half the shit that they say, right? But also, if you're in a gym and 99% of the time, you ain't got nothing for that person. And you're in a gym where you're in a combat art. So it's like, what are you going to say? You gonna talk shit? Probably not. Because in that instance, it's like, okay, well, we fight then. And you're probably going to lose that fight. So most people ain't gonna say too much. Most people ain't gonna take that ass whooping because they know, nobody wants to take that ass.
Yeah, like who wants to hold an L unnecessarily simply for the fact of you opened up your mouth and couldn't hold on to those words.
Right. Pretty much.
Yeah, you know when the L is coming. Like there's not one person that walks up there unless your name is Suge Knight who walks up there thinking like you're not about to take this L and you fuck around and walk off with the L.
Right. Y'all watch MMA at all? Y'all remember a name called Wanderlei Silva?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, Wanderlei Silva, his nickname is the Axe Murderer. I'll tell you a story. We're sitting at the Pyramid. That's where they have it in Long Beach. It's at UC Long Beach or whatever, right? And it's a big blue pyramid. That's where they hold the World Championships every year. And at least since they moved it to America. And because it used to be in Brazil. So it's like, we're sitting there and he's standing up because the people in front are standing up. So if you don't stand up, you can't see what's happening on the mat because we're closer down to the bottom, but he's standing up because the people in front of him are standing up. And you have this guy, man, you sit the fuck down, motherfucker, sit the fuck down, blah, 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 blah. And he turns around and smiles. And the dude saw who it was. And he sat down and shut the fuck up. Because, I mean, think about it. You just talk shit to the axe murderer.
I don't want an axe murderer smiling at me, fam.
Exactly. He just turned around. It was so cool because he just turned around like, okay. And he sat down. Don't get me wrong. Because he's like, what's the point of me beating the brakes off this dude? But at the same time, the dude is like, I'm literally talking to somebody who will break me. And in jiu-jitsu, you kind of know that. Like there's a hierarchy. Like you walk into the gym, you're gonna take your lumps, you're gonna take your frustrations. It's gonna happen until you build your skill. So a lot of times people who really feel a certain way about you, they're not really gonna tell you. They're not gonna make those jokes around you. They're not gonna say those things where you can see them or you can hear them. But see, the thing is, social media is a motherfucker. So I see some. So it's some people that you just got to catch hell, or you gonna have to avoid me every time you come to the gym.
Yeah, and this hiding behind the keyboard thing and actually coming out from behind the keyboard is starting to look way far too prevalent than what it needs to be, considering the times. People are dropping their nuts, and the last thing they need to be doing is nut checking themselves or other people when they don't have nuts to begin with. And that's coming out way more often than what it needs to. And people are going to get touched, and it's going to be to a point to where it's no longer going to be criminals. It's going to be accepted. In your case, you get the privilege of actually doing it for pay on a screen. Yeah. And we get to watch it happen.
I just brought it like this cat dude. I hate to say this now. Now, when I take some of these or what have you, I gotta wonder if that's one of those dudes. And I don't know. I literally had never heard this dude's name. Like when the promoter Seth actually asked me about this. He's like, "Hey, how about Kenny Cross versus Stephen Hall?" I was like, "Cool." He knows for the most part. I've only ever turned down one match from him, and that was because I was sick and I was about 200 and something. I was like 200 pounds. And the guy was going to be like 240, which I've taken matches where I was 220, 230, 240, and the guy was 320. But I had been sick. So I'm like, dude, I can't go that far. Literally, you know what I'm saying? Still haven't been sick. That's the only one I ever turned down. So normally he'll call me and ask, or he'll send me a message and say, hey man, you want to take this match in Denver, or you want to take this one in California, or you got somebody here. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So like this dude, I've never met the guy. I don't know anything about him at all other than I saw him, in a couple of matches that he had on YouTube. And I can't say he's a hateful dude. I can't say he's a supportive dude. I can't say it. But the problem is, it's sort of like black folks and police. I have to kind of assume you're one of them. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
And I hate that because it's not. We're supposed to have an honor system as far as jiu-jitsu is concerned. You tap, I let go. We're gonna try to feel like we're about to try to kill each other, but at the same time, you still on an honor system where you're not there to injure you. Like I might hurt you, but I ain't gonna injure you.
Right, it's a heated competition and it's combat sport, but at the same time, the end of the day is for a victory, not for a killing.
Right. Yeah, you're not trying. Like I'm not trying. Like the whole purpose of jiu-jitsu is I can break your arm, but I don't want to have to. Like, you should understand that, okay, he got me. And the problem is, like, now I have to wonder, because I'm like, dude, if you have some credentials or you have something behind your name, that's not to say that you're not good because you didn't win a title or anything. But like, when people take it sometimes, and to be honest with you, I'm fucking petty. So I find shit that you dig. I find shit that motivates me. Like you took this match, really? What the fuck were you thinking? Like I watched your matches. No, like so you really think? You know what I mean? So I really don't know where that came from, but we'll see. We'll see tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, flowgrappling.com. If you're in the Dallas area and you want to get tickets, go to Gillies. I'm sure you can
go to F2Win Tix.
There you go. F2Win Tix.
FTWTIX.
All right. That's Fight to Win. Stephen Hall, aka Steve Austin.
Yep.
This is the Broken Pistol Book Company Pro Wrestling Podcast infused with hip hop, and we kicked the show off. There's a theme here. We kicked the show off with a brand new record from Pharaoh Monch featuring Styles P called "Same Shit, Different Toilet."
Oh yeah, that's fire.
And I'm gonna actually take you out with a song of yours off that Serious Milk project from a couple years ago, featuring a man of a certain age, Picasso. This is Heartbeat. It's the Broken Pistol Book Company, you bitches.
Yeah. Feels good, don't it? Well, alright. Say, girl, been having some things on my mind. I just want to get them out to you. So listen here. I remember the very first day I seen you at the mall. I knew right then that we could do it all. I was looking at that ass and took a fall, but you ain't even laugh, not at all. Dog. Matter of fact, you came over and you handed me the digits. You held me up and let me know that you were with it. Perfectly like a handy glove is how it fitted. So you wasted no time before you let your boy hit it. Now looking back, I see that you were just what I was searching for, even though I never knew it. Through my pimping and my hustling, you were steady by my side, even though from time to time I almost blew it. Now you my habit and I'm never trying to break it. Gave it to you love and feeling, I ain't never trying to shake it. You the one, my rib, my breath, my sweet thing flowing through my body, girl. You make my heart beat.
Make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. You drive me crazy. Make my heart beat, baby. You drive me crazy.
We got a peanut butter bond, in other words, it's thick. The type of relationship that make them other folks sick. We got our own moves on slang, pet names. I call you Puddin' and you call me Big Daddy Bang Bang. Got is
something that can make you do wrong.
If you calling me like Pookie, girl, you got my mind blown. You open off me too, and you quick to remind me. Let somebody trip you quick to cut a sucker behind me. You let me know he gon' be there when everybody else leave. When it's time to get the paper, always something up your sleeve now. You're top notch and play the game high, so you're in my system, baby girl, and I just thought that you should know.
Make my heart beat, baby. You drive me crazy. Make my heart beat, baby. You drive me crazy. I'm tryna tell you how I feel about you. Couldn't make it through the day without you. I'm here to give a real deal to you. Just wanna tell you what I feel for you. You pretty lady, what I wanna do is give my whole heart and soul to you. You look close and you can plainly see that everything is what you mean to me.
That thing you got there's
something that can make you do wrong.
but I keep it straight and narrow so that I can make it home to you. Love how I wiggle when you tell me get a bone to you. Then turn me over, girl, me till I'm on to you. And when you're done, you make the best damn salmon that a brother ever had. And I'm damn so glad that I got a superwoman on top of everything, from the hood to the office to the bed to the street. I swear you never had to wonder if I love you. You my angel in a place no one above you. You the eyes I see with you, the ears I hear with you. My world and I'm just trying to make it clear to you.
Make my heart beat, baby. You drive me crazy.
Now, don't you get this shit here twisted up. Ain't shit sweet, get lifted up off your feet. If you thinking this pimpin' ain't still in effect, check your best bet, make sure you adjust your speed. In other words, bitch, pump your brakes. Hold up, wait, stop, catch your breath. For the anti-buster, you hate the taste. My name from your mouth is hot to death. Cause I found my bottom ain't kill my charm. Better watch that gal that's on your arm. Give her one more glance if she what she took. Sure, my dick game was TNT, they call it the bomb. And now she over here rubbing on my coochie shirt. You over there Friday like your booty hurt. Even though I got a queen, she down for groupie work. Whispering in my ear, how do I make the coochie hurt? Now, I got to do it, it ain't no stopping this. I spit a bit, it's a fluid when I be dropping this. See, every king need a queen, and I find a one of my dreams, but I can't stop. I was born to get this cream, just like a modern day Willie Dynamite. Space age smacking, I'm out of sight. I'ma stop this pimpin'. Can't be what I ain't, even though I gotta move a little slower than I'm used to. Though I can't choose you, come on, make a move through. Shawty, give me rhythm, I can move to. Heartbeat, heartbeat.
We got to get this man a championship belt. Did you hear all the list of
like he's
like we need a belt ceremony for this man? I'm dead serious. Like you got to start celebrating your champions.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. This is something that I forgot to bring it up. We're actually I'm a part of this group that's called Legacy Martial Arts. When I was coming up in jiu-jitsu, like I'm literally one of the older as far as jiu-jitsu. I'm talking about and how long I've been in jiu-jitsu. One of the older guys in jiu-jitsu as far as black people are concerned. There's only maybe a handful, 3, 4, 5 that been training longer than me. And I'm talking about in a nation as far as American born. And we started it because there weren't a lot of us. Jiu-jitsu has always been a Caucasian, you know what I mean, dominated art for many reasons. But when all of the things that are happening that came up, man, we're in a situation now where we banded together we're going to start providing self-defense, physical self-defense, firearm self-defense, and legal self-defense, because we got brothers from all kind of backgrounds to the community back from our association. And we have a lot of the brothers, like the brother I was telling y'all, Shane Jamil Hill is a part of it. Tim Spriggs is the president. I'm actually the vice president of it. Tim Spriggs is a world-class, Nogi world champion at black belt, a brilliant young brother. And we got sisters as well. So it's like, it's something that we're going to be doing. So I definitely want to share that with y'all too, man, because it's something that we want to try to start getting out to the community. You know what I mean?
Well, anytime you got anything like that going on, any fights coming up, man, you're more than welcome to hop on here. I mean, just shit. You see how I reached out to you? We were literally in the process of hitting the record button. I was like, oh shit, he got a fight tomorrow, and boom, you called us right back, and so we got you. So whatever you need from us, we got you. Whether it be the fighting, whether it be the social commentary, or whether it be the music, either way, we got you plugged, bro.
For sure, man. I appreciate y'all. Keep doing the good work, man.
Thank you, sir. We'll be watching tomorrow, man. Steve Austin, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you coming on, man.
All right, y'all have a good one.
You too, man.
You too. All right, peace.
As you can hear, we're exercising our right to social distance ourselves, even though we've been, violating that shit. We got to be standard bearers for the cause.
We using the fruits of technology to bring you an exclusive.
And we still sound better than most of you motherfuckers out there doing this shit. So understand that we do this for real, and you do this because you think you can.
Then there's that.
That being said, we have the opportunity to catch up with
a legend.
to talk to a legend in these streets, in these rings.
Yep.
And
in these dressing rooms. Right on. Well, look, without any further ado, we're finna get into this content, this premium content.
Oh yeah, wait. Before you do.
Oh. All right.
Dark Side of the Ring. Download the Vice app. It will be, by the time you guys hear this, it will be up and ready for you to view. Or maybe I might get it a few hours early. Either way, by the time the most of you hear this, it will be already up on the Vice app. Dark Side of the Ring, episode 2, season 2, New Jack. And he dropped some gems on you, so pay attention.
Please do. Without any further ado, roll that beautiful broken pencil footage. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Time to start the shit.
We got action, buddy.
What's going on, brother?
Chilling, man.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the Broken Pencil Booking Company.
Pleasure to have you on the show, G.
Right on.
Yeah, man. Tomorrow you have probably the most seminal piece of your career. It's like the crown jewel. It's like the one way people can say they recognize and respect the work of New Jack with this whole Viceland Dark Side of the Ring. You get a whole episode, bro. Like how does that feel for you to still be with us and living and still like flourishing in this business and get your own episode of anything just like a congratulatory part of your career?
I mean, it's a good feeling, man. You know what I mean? It's always good to be on TV. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Right.
And when they asked me to do it, I was just like, I just thought it was just another fucking DVD. I didn't realize it was as big as it is. Me and my wife watched it, and we were like, oh, this is the shit. You know what I'm saying? I get to go in there and talk shit about anybody and everybody, and then I editing my shit. So I was like, yeah, I'm down.
That's what's up. So you've seen the final version that's going to air tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Is there anything that did not make the cut of the final version that airs tomorrow night that you want to let people know about now?
They didn't put anything down with me and Chris Benoit.
Okay.
Because I was just like, I didn't like that motherfucker, you know, for what he did to his family, you know what I mean? And I had a lot to say about it, but they didn't want to air it. They just jumped right over it. They didn't want to air that shit because I wasn't a fan of his. You know what I mean? He kissed my ass.
So here's your platform right here. We got you. What would you have said if you had the opportunity to say it on Dark Side?
My whole thing was he killed Nancy, right? And everybody talked about how great of a wrestler he was. I'm like, all your wrestling points went out the window when you killed your fucking family. You know what I mean? It ain't shit good to be said about you after you did that shit. You know, and I wasn't a fan of his then. I'm not a fan of his now. And with me saying the shit that I said about him, I went on Aria Video. We did a goddamn shoot video about it, and you can see it on my Instagram. And I talked about him like a motherfucking dog because he was a fucking pussy to me.
How did it start? Like, what got the ball rolling to even, you know, them reaching out to you? Because matter of fact, we were just like maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago, Suave and I were just going through the list, and he had no idea I had the list for this season as far as who was on to be targeted for this season's episodes. And we got to New Jack, and then the list just kept going and going. He was like, whoa, we got to get this brother on here. Like, how did this happen? So, like, what got the ball rolling for them to even reach out to you? Like, hey, Jack, like, what can we do to get you on this show?
Well, see, my deal was they had put me on the show, and they had me down for season 8, episode 8, season 8. But then I started going on social media and started talking a lot of shit about the show and about what was going on. And all of a sudden, I ended up on season 2.
So they had this planned out, and they basically had you bumped up 6 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't think there's 6 seasons worth of stories I want to hear more than I want to see this episode with you.
And that's not fluff, bro. Because we talk about people in reverence. I mean, even we had a Black History episode, and your name came up a lot, as well as, like, you know, cats like Booker T, Ron Simmons, cats like that. But you came up a lot just because of your impact on African Americans in professional wrestling. I mean, because my introduction to you was the infamous O.J. Simpson promo in Smoky Mountain.
Yeah, Jim Cornette asked me to cut a promo, and he said, "Say something to make white people mad." So I was like, "All right." Then he came back and he said, "Say something about OJ." And I didn't have a clue what I was getting ready to say. And Mustafa was like, "Jack, what you gonna say?" I'm like, "I don't know." And we walked into the set to do the promo, and I was like, "Fuck!" And I was still drawing a blank. You know what I mean? So then when we started cutting the promo, and I ended up saying, I want to give a special shout out to my homeboy O.J. Simpson. Keep up the good work, too less to worry about. Motherfuckers lost their mind. Dude, they lost their mind.
Man.
Smoky Mountain was filmed in what, Knoxville?
Yeah.
So you're in the middle of literally the middle of the Smoky Mountains. banjos and missing teeth. And I say that nicely because I've been in Knoxville. It's a great place. And this is the heat of racial tensions because we right after the South Central riots, and then right after OJ, and then here you come with this nonsense. And we're just like, what? Because Smoky Mountain was still local. So we're catching it word of mouth. We're catching it through, tapes that are being traded, magazines. But when I saw it, it was like, yo, how people getting away with this on local TV?
Right.
Yeah, we knew it was a paradigm shift for real back then.
Right.
Like, I got introduced to that actual promo a little later in life. My introduction to you was during the ECW heyday, where it was the greatest promos. Every match was had the soundtrack of Natural Born Killers in the background, and I was guaranteed you were going to dive off of the highest point inside the arena, period. So when we were talking about earlier how we do everybody in reverence and respect and how you came up, well, on the Black History episode, we had this question around the room, and everybody was supposed to select one African-American performer as the most influential of all time, or for their most influential African-American wrestler. I picked you based on the fact I felt like your contributions during the mid-90s and sort of late 90s laid the groundwork for what became the Attitude Era. The things you were saying, the dives, the weapons, chairs, bringing weapons to the ring, like it felt like they completely Xeroxed you and then put it on WWE television.
Right. Because Cactus Jack told me, he was like, when you quit ECW, he said, I was so fucking glad, because every time you would go and dive off something, Vince had me to go and try to outdo it because our TV was stronger than y'all's. So people were thinking that the idea came from me, and it didn't. It came from New Jack. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, I was glad when you stopped working for ECW. He said, because I was killing myself trying to outdo you. And he gave me credit.
That's cool. That's what's up.
So when did the violence start? Like I'm just saying, like, because you always been a bad guy that people gravitated to, but when did it just get out of hand for you, where you just knew there was no turning back?
I mean, it was still part. It was a work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was just like, they was like, New Jack, you go out there and do whatever the fuck you want to do. He said, and don't worry about it. We're going to add shit on TV. So they gave me the green light to go out there and say what I wanted to say. My promos were never rehearsed. It always came from the top of my head. You know what I mean? And they were like, you do whatever you want to do in the ring. We're going to air it. So they gave me a gun with bullets in it, and they said, go shoot it.
Go shoot it.
That's what's up.
Fully loaded clips for the whole wrestling world.
Yeah.
Was there anybody that, whether it be USWA, because I wasn't, like, I used to catch a lot of the USWA in Memphis, but never, like, not on a consistent basis. Like, I had a grandmother that lived, like, 30 minutes away from there, so, like, spring break, summers, even when I was in college, I get a chance to catch it, the USWA on those breaks where I go visit her, but I never got a chance to see in USWA. But like ECW, even like the independent scenes, like, was there anybody that you had or didn't get a chance to work with that you were around that you wanted to?
The only person in the business that I never worked, that I wanted to work, and I thought we would have did a good job, was Roddy Piper.
I can see it.
Okay.
I can see
I
the
think Piper would have put it down, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I always wanted to work him, but it never happened.
That match against him and Greg Valentine at the first Starrcade is probably one of the most one of the most violent matches of that time. It could easily be used as a precursor to things that happened to ECW.
What was it? The strap match?
Dog collar match.
Dog collar, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for what it was worth back then.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because, I mean, when I was at ECW, we had a match one night. It was me, Cronus, against Balls and Axel. And we made a bet on who could get the best color. So when it was time to bleed, I was over in the corner just whacking my forehead. I was cutting the shit out of myself. And Balls had got it, Axel had got it, and then Cronus cut his head to a point where you couldn't even see his face. His whole face was covered in blood. And he was laying down in the ring, and somebody took a picture of him, and his whole face was covered in blood. We went back to the locker room, and he was like, all right, y'all pay up. It was like a $20 bet. So we all had to pay Cronus the money because he got the best color.
Wow, that's crazy.
We used to do, you know what I mean? Just having fun doing it.
I think that's the best part about it all, man. It was like us watching it like from a fan perspective and realizing like, yo, these cats are really going in, and then looking back, you know, from a professional perspective and like there's no better place to work than a place where you can have fun. And every place that you went, it looked like you were genuinely having fun. It's great to be the bad guy, and especially to the point to where your fans love you.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, we would go to the ring, we'd be drunk, we'd be high. You know what I mean? I've been snorting coke all night long, and I was just like, I didn't give a fuck. And we was all high, and we would go out there and fucking kill each other, and then go to the bar after the shit was over with, and just sit at the bar and drink. You know what I mean? And fans would come down there and talk to us. We would talk to them and fuck with them, you know, and we had a good time.
So what was the pregame like? So walk me through, like, you know, like you got a big payday that you know about to happen. You got some major talent that you about to go up against. Like run me through the pregame. Like how was the partying on the pregame?
Well, I always did coke, and they put the lineup sheet up. It'll tell you who's gonna wrestle who's going over. And when they got to the point where they were coming in and see their name up against mine, they'd be like, oh shit. And Paulie'd be like, don't worry about it, everything's gonna be fine. And I'd be like, I'm gonna take care of you, man. You know what I mean? And I would cut promos sometimes, and the guy would see me cut my promo, and they would come back and they'd be like, Jack, we all right? I'm like, yeah, what's up? He'd be like, no, I just heard that promo you cut, and I'm feeling some kind of way right now. You know what I mean? And he was like, I don't want you to go out there and fucking try to kill me. And I'd be like, no, man, I was just cutting the promo. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it wasn't a big deal. It was just a goddamn wrestling promo. They'd be like, well, I just want to make sure that we ain't got no heat. You know?
I mean, with some of the promos you used to cut, I mean, I can see where people would like have to pull you to the side, like, "Hey, we good? I have to make sure I didn't do nothing wrong."
You go back and listen for yourself, Jack. It's a problem. Some of them choice was a problem.
Yeah,
I think one of my favorites was the one. I can't remember the pay-per-view it was, but it was when you were in the feud with the Baldies, and you were talking about you had a homeboy Stumpy in South Central that fucked you over on some money, and he stabbed you in the ass. And as soon as you pulled a knife out, you whooped his ass from one end of South Central to the other.
Right. Right.
Like that's one of my favorites. I've been trying to find it, but yeah, it's like I can definitely see where somebody would be like, "Hey, I need to figure out and make sure we good," because he sound like he might go off on my ass.
Yeah. The only time that I turned left was when people would come up to me and they would start giving me ideas about what they want to do in the ring. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm the vet. You do what I tell you to do in the ring, and that's what it's going to be. I don't need your fucking opinion. You know what I mean? I'm like, we're going to do what I say we're going to do, and that's the end of it. And that was when it happened with Mass Transit. That was the deal with him because he was on some old New Jack. Can we do this? Can we do that? And I was like, just bring your ass to the ring and shut the fuck up. You know, but I mean, I done told that story a million times. But I mean, you know, I'm just saying.
I'm sure we'll see it tomorrow too.
You will. You will see it on TV tomorrow,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. We're not gonna talk about that. We'll let the fans see that for themselves, man. But yeah, that's one for the ages.
Me and my wife gonna watch it.
Well, you best believe we're gonna be watching it. I meant to ask you this earlier, and my apologies for not caring, but I do care, and we do care. How's recovery from the surgery going, man? Because we know you're supposed to be here prior to all this quarantine and shit.
Right.
Yeah, how's recovery from the surgery going, brother?
My ankle is still sore. They put a plate in my leg. Right. So they had my leg wide open. It was laying wide open, and they put a plate in it. And I got pins in it now. You know what I mean? So I'm still walking in the booth. I'm getting around. It's going to be a while before I get back in the ring, though. You know, but I'm doing appearances. You know what I mean? So if people want to come check me out when I do my appearances, then they can come and see me. But I'm not getting back in the ring no time soon.
Well, best believe anytime you come in or around the vicinity of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and by that we mean driving distance, especially anywhere more than like, say, 6 hours, we going to be there with bells on to come see you.
All right, man, I appreciate it.
And anytime you come this way, we got you too. So if you need anything from us, all you got to do is give us a heads up, let us know you coming. We got you.
All right, bro.
New Jack, give them all your socials, how they catch up with you. Tell them about the book. Tell them where they can purchase
especially
it.
tell them about the book.
My book is newjack187.com. You can look up my book. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter at the only New Jack. I'm all over the goddamn place.
And you be all over Vice TV tomorrow night for the Dark Side of the Ring New Jack episode. We wanted to tell you that we appreciate you. We thank you for everything that you've done as far as the wrestling business is concerned. We're definitely appreciative of you sharing your time with us this evening. And we appreciate you.
Yeah, man, for all of the abuse that you put your body through for the sake of our entertainment, man, we'll be the first ones, if we haven't been the first ones, to tell you that, thank you for that, and we'll continue to support you until one of us can't breathe anymore, and we'll still go beyond that. I'm turning my kids on to you. My kids are diehard wrestling fans because of me and the stuff that I do here, and I got a bunch of kids. So yeah, so they'll be checking out the older New Jack stuff, and also they'll be around me too next time you come through this area, brother. So again, we thank you, and we look forward to seeing the Dark Side of the Ring, so that way the rest of the world can know your story, man. But we appreciate you giving us a couple of minutes of your time to say what's up to us.
All right, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Suave, you can take us to the house.
Pencil pushers, heads up, pencils down.